Hi there, you're welcome to Femtech Studio. Today's tutorial is titled Understanding the Layout of Daz Studio. Course code Daz 102. Just in case you miss Daz 101 titled Introduction to Daz Studio, I will leave a link in the description catalog. From the bottom of my heart, I want to use this medium to say a big thank you to everyone that has supported my channel lately. God Almighty bless you. Just in case you are new to my channel, please click on the subscribe button and like my video so that you'll be notified whenever we release a new video. Without further ado, let's jump to today's tutorial. Welcome back. So let's start. Now, as you can see here on the viewport is an area where wherever you load, be it a character, a properties, or a creature, will all be visible in the viewport. Now, the rendering library, this is a saved area where you've saved your pictures, videos, image series, and so on. Okay, so in this place we have the view, the display view. We are currently on the perspective view. Once I select on front view, you will notice we are viewing this creature and the figure in the front view. Likewise, once I select on the left view, we'll be viewing them also from the left view. Are you with me? Okay, so let's say this is the right view, viewing the creature from the right view like that. So this is the display view, more or less used for viewing your objects or whatever you have in the viewports based on those views. Alright, so let's switch back to perspective view. So next we have the orbit view. The orbit view, once you select on it, hold your left click button of your mouse, then move it in that direction. Use this for orbiting around your scene for a better view. Now you will notice I use this of recent. For example, once we have our front view like this, or probably let's say our back view, we have it like this, and we want to move up to see our creature and our animal, our figure and the animal. We use the pan button to move up. Are you with me? To move up. Okay, and to also move to the side, to the left, but you can orbit, just to move up, down, right and left. Okay, so let me switch back to the perspective view. Now the next one is this symbol that called the zoom button. Once you select on it, push your mouse to the front. By shifting your mouse to the front, you'll be zooming out. Also, once you shift your mouse closer to you, it means you are zooming in. And you can also use, in aspect of it, you can also use your scroll button. By scrolling out, you are zooming out. Scrolling in means you are zooming in. So that's the function of this zoom icon here, or you use your scroll button on your mouse. So this one is called the view frame. For example, let's say I want to view the leg of my Genesis character. Once I select on the leg once by left clicking, and I select on this, immediately my view was taken straight to the leg of the figure. So that's the function of the view character, of the view frame rather. So the next one we have is the reset view. Reset view will take us back to the origin point. So once you select on this, it takes us back to the origin base. Yeah. So that's the function of the reset view. Now let us move up to view our creature and our animal. We make use of the pan button. Drag it, that is by dragging it downward to have a better view, then moving to the right to have a better view of your or wherever you have on your viewport. Okay, so we have this called the drawing settings or the drawing styles. So once you select on it, we have varieties of them. Presently we're on texture shaded, that is, we'll view them like this. But once you select on wire bonding box, once you select on wire bonding box, we have it like this. So these are those in shape of the wire bonding box of our creature and our character. Also select on the solid, looking form of a solid shape, and the wire frame also like that. And also we make use of the texture shaded. So viewing out like this, in terms of viewing your wherever you've rendered out or wherever you were to render out to look more natural, we make use of this highway preview. Once you select on it, just let it load. You will see the way they actually look like. Okay, let me give you a better view. Rendering, I'm still going to explain all this, but also a better view. Active viewport to view my creature and my whoever I have on my scene very well. Okay, so as you can see, it view them more naturally than compared to the texture shaded. So we will all render in highway or 3D delight, so we'll still come back to that. So back to your texture shaded. Now please take note, anytime you are working on your Daz Studio, please always switch to texture shaded. Though you can use this, but it will make your working very slow. Alright, so switch to texture shaded. Now this also is also in place of what we've just done so far. That is, once I select on the front view, takes me to the front view. Once I select on this, takes me to that view. The top takes me to the top, to this direction, takes me to this direction. If you are familiar with AutoCAD or you use AutoCAD before, you should also have this in terms once you are doing your 3D once you are doing your 3D review or trying to construct a model a house in 3D view. So to go back to the normal view, we have this. So that's a reset view. Then we can use this to drag our object, use it to pan up, all right, to a better view. Okay, so that is all about the viewport. Now the next one we have here is our scene. Now we're still going to come back how to load these objects. I purposely place this there so that we could actually understand what I'm trying to explain. So we'll take it bit by bit. This is just introduction class. So the Genesis figure is our character here. Once I select on the dragon, you notice something is also highlighted on the dragon. You can see it like this. Once I select on the Genesis is selected only. Now the scene tab is a place where wherever you have on your viewports, the names of them will be represented in this place. So that is the function of the scene tab. Now the auxiliary viewport is more or less like your viewport, but the auxiliary viewport is a little bit smaller compared to that of your viewport in this place, though you can make it more bigger. But the function of the auxiliary view is when you are trying to we could have a view perspective view in this direction, and from here switch to our front view. Hope you're understanding it. So use the same tab to set our direction without affecting wherever we have here. So it's more or less having two viewports in a scene. Are you with me? These are mainly used for when you are trying to do some modeling or do some posing. Are you with me? Now for you to have a better view of what you are doing or what you're about to create do. Okay, so that's for the auxiliary view. Now I could still change back to the perspective view to also have wherever I have here. Likewise, I can change back to this to also have this and work on this point like this. So you could see they both work simultaneously to each other. Now, well, if I select on the perspective view here, and I also select on the perspective view. Now this is on perspective, this is on perspective. Whatever I do here will also take an effect here because I am on the same viewport. You get it, right? Okay. So the next one, we have the environment. Now the environment, we'll talk about that in the next course. So let's just still giving a basic tutorial about it. So now in the parameters tab here, I want to select on a character. We have the parameters. The parameters mostly are meant used for how your probably for different things, but from the first one we have here, we have the translate, we have the rotate, we have the scale, and so on and so forth. So let's look at the X translate. So take note, my Genesis character, the male here is called Genesis. We'll be putting you through about those Genesis. We have Genesis 1 down to Genesis 8. So, but for now, this is a Genesis character. Now, this is X translate. Now you can see, let me zoom very well to that point. You can see this arrow colored in red facing this. It means once you look at this rectangular box here, painted red also. Now it means if I should hold this button and drag it to this side, or drag it to this side, it means my my figure will move in the X direction. Are you with me? Alright, so the Y translates, you could look at this going up, right? So if I should take it like this in the positive side, or bring it back to the negative side like this, then you will notice something is happening. It's going down, going up. That is the function of the what? Of the Y translate. Okay, try to put it back there. So the Z translates, you notice, is the one facing that direction for now. So once you select on the positive and the negative, you notice. So mostly it is always another guideline for you to know where your axis is. You can look at this. This is painted in blue. This is the front, right? So once you use your Z translate, so it move front, it move back. Now once you select on X translate, you can look at this side, painted red. So it's meant so your figure goes like this or goes like this. Are you with me? So the X rotate really means your figure will rotate in this direction. Now you could see, let me try to show you this. Okay, you could see this arc painted in red, right? So once I select on X rotate and I rotate it, you notice something happening there, right? Probably let me reset it back to the normal figure, so we can understand what we are trying to do here. Okay, so like I said, the X axis, now once I rotate it, you notice it's facing something like this, facing the front like this, right? So once I rotate it on the X axis like that, you notice it's going to rotate in that axis. Also, once I select on this, on the blue line, on the blue arc, you could see that is for the Z rotate in that direction. You get it, right? Okay, likewise on the Y rotate, is this. You can see the green arc. So once I just select on this, I can use this to rotate, or better still, use my Y rotation to rotate on my parameters tab. So what did I do the other time? I did something, right? And which I did not explain. Okay, let me do it back here. So I have the this dragon here, right? Now what I did to my figure was I selected on this and select on restore to figure pose. Restore to figure pose simply means go back to the normal pose you were before this pose was created, right? So once I select on this, so this is the normal pose. This is the normal pose. Trying to select on this back. So this is the normal pose they wear before I took add some pose to them. Are you with me? Okay, so now what else do we have here? Now take notes, we do more of selecting on a character before we work on it. So instead of selecting on this, you could also click on your character twice to select on all the characters, right? So let's say I want to select on my character on this dragon. Instead of scrolling up to look for where the dragon is, where the dragon is. Are you with me? Then what I just do is just to double click on it, then it should show me where my dragon is and to select it. All right, so now let's see what else do we have here. The shaping let me try to remove, let's see. Okay, trying to off its clothes. Zero afterwards. Okay, vest rather. Okay, so you could see what we want to do. Now what I just did here is I selected on this to off the clothes. So we could do that for others ones here. Once you select on the material or wherever you have, they just select on it, then to off wherever, to just off it, but it's still there. Are you with me? So by selecting on the talking about the shaping, right? So in the shaping you have different ones here. So let's say we selected let's say heavy robustic. You could see there's a change in my Genesis figure. Okay, you could see. So that's the function of the what of the shape. Now when we look at the pose also, the pose, set and pose control, these are control we will use. We'll talk more about this in the advanced classes. So the lights, we'll talk about it. The surface, probably the surface is used to, probably if you want to change the complexion of your character, or you want to change the color of this wear, you could actually use the surface to change the color. So also face transfer, the function of the face transfer is more used for transferring a face, probably an human face, a picture you took from home or from your phone, and you have a soft copy, then you want to create a cartoon of yourself, just like this one you see here. This is my face in 3D animation. So what I did was I used the face transfer to transfer my face. Are you with me? Then work on it. So something like this. Come to the face transfer, select on, you must already have the face you want to use. Are you with me? Probably let's say I selected on this guy and select on open. So it will ask me either male or female. Male, then select on generate. So you just hold on for it to load. So it actually take the face of that person and transfer it onto a character. All right, so now it is loaded there. For us to figure out where it is, just select on it and select on this view frame. You could see here it is. So it has actually transferred the human face onto a character. Are you with me? It has transferred human face onto a character, and that's one of the tools I use to create this image you see here. Okay, so if I select on reset, now you'll notice something. At this point we now have a Genesis character, we have a dragon, and we have Genesis 8 male character. Okay, so double select on it. I want to drag him to this place. Okay, select on this. So you notice on the face transfer, once we still select on our Genesis, the picture is still coming out here and it asks us if I want to save this. So a full tutorial is coming on this. Are you with me? How to use your face transfer and the likes. So this does a basic tutorial on how to just to be familiar with the layout. Okay, so on this place we have once I click on this place to open up whatever we have in that tab. So on the smart content area, these are on this part. If I set on figures, wherever you have installed, either you buy the character or the basic ones that come with Daz Studio, you have them loaded in this point here. And once I select, I guess, Genesis 2, we have varieties of this like this. But select on Genesis 8 male character, also have varieties also of Genesis 8 characters. Genesis 3 is also the same thing, also applicable. So now we have the accessories, we have the cameras, documents, different things here which we'll be explaining the more. So we also have the wardrobe. Now let me explain this, the difference between the files and the products. Now let's look at this. In the products, this for you should have these ones, these 4 presently. Now this Genesis starter essential, everything that is all about the Genesis starter essential is encaged or packaged in this place. So that's why it's called the product. Are you with me? So you can have everything view like this. Okay, likewise Genesis 8 starter, Genesis 3 starter essentials, so you have them in groups. But once you select on files, wherever you have in the figure, in terms of the products, that's separated them, group them in different aspects, the files will actually split them out. The file will split them out. So wherever you have, whatever products you may have bought from the figure or anything will be splitted out in your files. Another example, we have them, let's say our wardrobe. Now these are products already, these ones should be basics in your own. So for Genesis 2, the wardrobe, that is the clothing, are all engaged in this for Genesis 2 starter, likewise for Genesis 3 and Genesis 8. But once I select on files, wherever we have in that both Genesis 2, Genesis 3, the ones I also purchased, all the wardrobes, all the clothes will be available there, as you can see. So that is the difference between the files and the products. Okay, so we also have the air and so on and so forth. So we're talking more about that in the next video. So we also have the drawing settings. I don't want to go into details to that one for now, not to bother you. Okay, so at the upper part here we have the file, the edit, the create. Once you select on our file, we have new. Simply means you want to have a new scene. So whatever you have here will be saved or deleted. It depends if you are actually saved it. So we have open. You want to open a file. Open recent, that means a file you've actually opened, you've worked on not so long, and you still have it here. So also we also have merge. We're talking about using this margin in our next tutorial. So we have the save. So let's click on save. Now let me call this Daz Studio 102 rather. So and click on save. So you notice it's actually change it to Daz Studio 102, right? Okay, or better still, let me change it to tutorial 102. I think that would be better. So for me to rechange this, all I need to do is to come to my file, select on save as the same, then I could now rename it by saying this is tutorial 102. Click on save. Okay, so you can see that's actually what saved it. Alright, so we also have majority of what we have here are also available here. So we have the save, we have the open, we have the new. Once you select on it, it will actually show you that. So we also have the import and the export. That means import simply means you are importing from other studios like Blender, Pose, Cinema 4D and the likes. Are you with me? Then you're importing it to Daz Studio. That is the character, the object, or whatever you might have there, or whatever you might have bought, or a Max 3D. You import it by clicking on that, because their files are always different, so you need to import it. So also once you are trying to export from Daz to other 3D animations, you need to also click on export, then change the settings, which we're not going to go to today in this tutorial. Alright, so we also have on the edit tab, in the edit tab where you can undo what you've done so far, the previous translate, more or less like Microsoft Word. You also have the sign here, also the symbol here, copy. In the copy we could actually copy wherever we have maybe parameters we've done here. We can also copy, and also we can also duplicate, paste, and the likes here. So we're talking more about this in the advanced class. So we also have create, where you have your cameras and your lights, your tools we will use for movement, the render setting. We need to render our image like this to have a nice view like this. Okay, so we also have on the Windows tab, we have the Windows tab, we have the help and the likes. At this point also, let me select on this. So now this is called the navigation to button. Once you select on it, once it's selected like this and you click on W, let me bring out my keyboard so you can all view it, and we click on W, you will notice something, it's moving because it's called the navigation key button. Are you with me? I select on X, also select on A to move to the side, select on D to move to the other side. So that's actually the function of the navigation button out here. We also have the active scene navigator, whereby you are trying to move in the scene. More majority of you understand what I'm trying to say. If you be playing games on your PC, when you're trying to move from one direction to the other, you use your navigation button, right? Okay, so here also we also have the active node. Once I select on it, you will notice that XY direction is off. So once I select on this, though it's still selected, but it will not show me that universal tool anymore. So once I set on universal tool, it shows me both, shows me the direction at which I want to change, and also this is also called the rotate tool. More or less look like what you have here, the rotating tool. So I can actually rotate this diagram, this, oops, let me try to locate him back here. Okay, select on him, move to the front here. Okay, so I select on this rotate tool. Once I select on the rotate tool, then I rotate it like that. You notice it's rotating, right? So to bring it down to the normal position, I could select on this return figure to pose, then take it back to that to the origin. That's why it's going back there. So all this image you load, they will always be loaded from this point, from the origin. So you need to shift them in once you are trying to load other image into your viewport. Okay, so next one we have called the translate to, just like what we talked about here in the parameters tab. So instead of using this button, you could just use this down, forward and backward, to the right and to the left. So it all depends on which one you prefer. All right, so in order for you to move the object to the ground, you could also hit on Control D. Yes, on Control D, that is Control plus D. So immediately your object should be moved to the ground. So that is that about that. Awesome. Now this, what is this? The scale, that is how do you want to make your object, big or small, whatever. So you also have the scaling here. So smallest, like what you have here, like thus once you select on it, forward and backward, it enlarge your image or whatever, your character. So I can use this undo to undo that operation. Okay, so the next one, we have here is the bones. So for example, I want to select on each bone to work on. You will notice everything is not that so selected. Thus that area that I want to work on, the bones will be selected. So with the help of that, once I move closer to it, let me move back. With all of these bones, we can actually use this post control to move our objects in any direction. I can try to click on the red button, on the red icon there, to make the hand twist, or on the green button also to in direction you prefer. Are you with me? We'll be talking more about the posing control and what they are used for. All right, so to just take this back. All right, so we also have different ones here. We have the surface, to change the surface and the likes. Okay, so in this place we have the animate to and the timeline. Now the function of the animate is more or less used for the animations. So you want your animations to walk or dance or to do whatever, it all depends on you. So probably double click on my eye character, but I don't want to use the bone. I always prefer to use the universal tool, where I have both the scaling my objects, translating my objects, and rotating my objects. This is used for the rotation, this is used for the translation, and this is used for the scaling. You get it? So this, I prefer using this. I really use this once in some cases. So let's see, once I select on my character, let's see, we want to make our character to work. So we use, so as you can see, it's working, thus going back. So we'll be talking more about it also in the next video. All right, so you can also make do a lot of things. Let's select on dancing. Okay, let's see this. Oh, so you can see, it's actually dancing. So you can also do that for your character yet also by okay, so it all depends on whatever you use. Start dancing. So that's work of the animate. So your timeline and your animate are used simultaneously. It's very important once you are trying to do some animations, like making your character to move. Those cartoons you see, they make use of the animate to, probably it might not be called animate in their own studio, it might be called other things, but whoever is called, they all perform the same functions with a timeline. We'll be talking more about that in our next tutorial. Just in case you don't have this in your own tab, all you need to do is just to come to the Windows tab. On the Windows tab, you have the panel. This is where you have all tabs. Are you with me? You have all tabs. So once you select on it, it should actually show, to pop out, then you drag it. What am I trying to say? So let's assume in this lights tab is not there. Let me undock it and cancel it. Probably I was trying to look for my lights tab. I noticed the light tab is not here, so I can come over to the Windows tab, select on my panels tab and select on lights. So here it is. Then I can now drag it to either this side or to wherever I prefer. So what I need to do is, first is, once I just hold this side, drag it, make sure it shows, you look at the cursor, you notice something like a little bit rectangle is on it, right? So that's what you drop here. But if you do like this, if you hold it like this by dragging it, you mistakenly drop it in a wrong corner like this. Are you with me? And this is not what you want. So let me undock it back. So again, so all you need to do is drag it like this, that is, select on the light and drag it by holding your left click button, then put it in that place. So you can see it has returned back to that point. So please take note of that. All right, so this is the lesson you wish you could also go for yourself and try to understand more about it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. In case you find this video helpful, please kindly click on the subscribe button and like my video. It really help me a lot. In our next tutorial, the title of our next tutorial will be shown right away on the screen. See you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.